Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Clarity with Grace. As always, that I'm glad that you are here. And I always start off by telling you that this is not a webinar, it's not a training, it's not a sales call. This is our table. And this is the one place each week where we can slow down, tell the truth, and talk honestly about what it looks like to build drip funnels and build our businesses with clarity, steadiness, and peace. So, again, thank you for being here with me on this morning. Today, I want to talk honestly about something that I know I need to improve. Hold on, letting someone in. I need to do a better job of inviting people to coffee and clarity with Grace. I need to do a better job of letting people know that this table exists. And after they register, I need to do a better job of helping them remember to attend. Sometimes we can build something meaningful, prepare something valuable, and create a space that we genuinely believe people need, but we don't create a clear enough path for people to find it. So then when they don't show up, we can start questioning, the value of what we created. But the problem isn't the table. The problem is the path to the table. The problem is not the conversation. Problem may be that I invited people once, posted the registration link once, and expected everybody to remember what was happening several days later. So my thought for this week is I don't need a bigger table first. I need a clearer path to the table. So as always, I want to talk about what I'm seeing, what I'm learning, what I'm wrestling with, and what I'm appreciating as I think about inviting more people to Coffee and Clarity and helping them make it to the table and using drift funnels to create a clearer, more thoughtful path from invitation to attendance. So let's jump in. What I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is that consistency in creating something doesn't automatically create consistency in attendance. Coffee and Clarity with Grace has now been happening for 13 weeks. For 13 weeks, I've been preparing. I've been showing up. 13 weeks, I've been sharing what I'm seeing, what I'm learning, what I'm wrestling with, and what I'm appreciating. And that consistency does matter. But I'm also seeing that showing up to host a call is only one part of my responsibility. I also have to invite people into the room. So I can't prepare the table, set everything out, sit down in my chair, and quietly hope somebody happens to walk past the house and realize that breakfast is ready. I have to tell people, there's a seat here for you. So I have to tell them when the conversation is happening. I got to tell them why this particular conversation might matter to them. And I have to give them a clear way to register. And then after they register, I need to help them remember. People are carrying a lot. You all have families, you've got businesses, you've got jobs, you've got appointments, you've got responsibilities. And people, you may see my post on Thursday and genuinely intend to attend on Monday morning. But between Thursday and Monday, life happens. You know, People's intentions may be real, but their memory may need support. So I'm learning not to, interpret every absence as rejection. Sometimes not attending doesn't automatically mean they didn't care. Doesn't mean the subject wasn't valuable. It doesn't automatically mean the call shouldn't continue. It absolutely should. But sometimes people simply forget, and they never saw the invitation. Or sometimes they saw the invitation but didn't understand what the call was. Or maybe they thought it was another webinar. Or maybe they assumed there'd be a sales pitch, you know. Sometimes, they didn't understand that this is a real conversation where they can bring what they're building and what they're carrying here to the table. And sometimes the value was clear to me because I created it, but it wasn't yet clear to other people. And that's something I have to take responsibility for. I can't say coffee and clarity is our table while expecting people to discover the table by accident. So I have to make the table easier to find. That's what I'm seeing. Mm, Fine. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Let somebody in. All right. What I'm learning. What I'm learning is that posting a registration link is not the same as building an invitation system. A link gives people somewhere to go. A system helps people move. That's one of the biggest distinctions I'm learning um, here with DriftFunnels. The page is important, but the page isn't the entire journey. The registration page, that's the front door. But what happens after someone walks through that front door? Do they receive an immediate confirmation? Do they know that their registration was successful? Can they easily add the call to their calendar? Do they receive a reminder the night before? Do they receive another reminder Monday morning? Do they receive the direct link shortly before we begin? And if they do attend, do I thank them? If they miss the call, do I tell them that we missed them and give them the replay? If they do reply to an invitation with a question, is that conversation captured somewhere? Or does it disappear into my text messages, inbox, or social media notification? This is where I need to use DriftFunnels more intentionally. Coffee and clarity shouldn't be managed through memory, scattered posts, and last-minute reminders. It should have a complete journey. And the first part of that journey is awareness. People need to see the invitation. I should be consistently inviting people through Shigosin, Facebook, email, personal messages, and the conversations I am already having. Not with the same generic message every time. What I can do is share the weekly title. I can share the thought that I'm wrestling with. I can share a short video. I can share a quote from the upcoming conversation. I can personally invite someone and say, I thought about you when I prepared this week's conversation. That feels very different from dropping a link in front of somebody and saying, register here. The second part of the journey is registration. The registration page should make it clear that Coffee and Clarity is not a webinar, not a training, and not a sales call. What it should do is explain that this is our table. It should tell people when we meet. It should tell them what kind of conversation they can expect. And it should make registration simple. The third part is confirmation. As soon as somebody registers, DriftFunnels should confirm that we received their information. And they should immediately know you're registered, here's the date, here's the time, here's what to expect, and here's how to add it to your calendar. That's the third part. Fourth part is reminding them. I shouldn't depend on people remembering Monday morning at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern without support. What they should do is receive a reminder Sunday evening, then receive a reminder Monday morning, and then shortly before the call start, you should receive a direct link with a warm message saying something like, hey, the table's ready. We would love to have you with us. That's the fourth part. The fifth part is attendance. I need to know who registered and who attended, not so I can reduce, people to numbers, no, but so I can care for people properly. The people who attended should receive one kind of follow-up. The people who registered but couldn't attend should receive another kind of follow-up. And then the people who have attended multiple times may be ready for a more personal message. And then those people who've never attended may need a clearer explanation of what Coffee and Clarity really is. That's where information becomes care. And, used correctly, data should help me become more thoughtful, not make the relationship colder. That's the fifth part. The sixth part is follow-up. After the call, attendees should receive a thank you message. Then they should receive the replay, and they should be invited back to the table the following Monday. And then the people who missed the call should receive a message that doesn't shame them. Of course, you never want to do that to people. Message could be something simple like, hey, we missed you at the table this morning. I know Mondays can move quickly, so here's a replay whenever you have a quiet moment. That follow-up is follow-up with dignity. And then the seventh part is learning from the journey. Which invitations are people responding to? These are things I need to find out. Which invitations are people responding to? Are they registering from Shigosin? Are they registering from Facebook? Are they responding to personal invitations? Are they watching a short video and then registering? Are they opening the reminder messages? Are they clicking the attendance link? Where are people stopping? That's what DriftFunnels should help me see. I should be able to look at the journey and understand where people need more clarity. Maybe people are seeing the invitation, but they're not registering. That tells me that the invitation may not be clear enough. Or maybe they're registering, but they're not attending. That lets me know the reminder process may need improvement. Could be that people attend once, but they don't return. That lets me know that I need to strengthen the follow up and help them understand that this is a weekly table and not a one-time event. And I'm not out here trying to chase people. What I wanted to do is remove unnecessary gaps because, this is about making the next step clear. It's about allowing DriftFunnels to carry the repeated administrative work so I can remain present for the human work. Automation should carry the repetition and it shouldn't replace the relationship. That's where I come in. Okay. That's one of the biggest things I'm learning. I don't want coffee and clarity to feel automated, but I do want the process surrounding it to be dependable. I want the reminders to go out even when I'm busy. I want the registration to be recorded even when I'm asleep. And I want the follow-up to happen even when Monday becomes full. And then when somebody responds, I want to be able to step into that conversation personally. The system will create the consistency and I bring the care. So that's what I'm learning. What I'm wrestling with. What I'm wrestling with is the difference between inviting people and feeling like I'm bothering people. I think many business owners struggle with that. We create something that we believe in. We know it can help people, but when it's time to talk about it repeatedly, we pull back. We say stuff like, I already posted it. I don't want to overwhelm people. I don't want to talk to people about myself. I don't want to keep talking to people about myself. And I don't want anybody to feel pressure. And those concerns are understandable, very understandable. But sometimes what we call not wanting to bother people is really discomfort with being visible. Sometimes it's fear that people won't respond. Sometimes we'd rather quietly hope people attend than openly invite them and risking hearing the word no. There's a certain kind of safety in preparing something without promoting it. If very few people attend, we can tell ourselves, well, I really didn't invite that many people. That protects us from having to ask the harder question. What if I invite people clearly and they still don't come? I'm being honest about this because this is our table. I have to become more comfortable making the invitation. No manipulating, no pressuring, no begging, just inviting. There is a difference. An invitation that says, this is what we're doing. This is why it matters. This is who it may help. There's room for you, and you are free to decide. That's not pressure. That's clarity. I'm also wrestling with the fact that I'm building a platform that helps businesses create complete customer and community journeys. And what that means is I have to be willing to use the system in my own business. I can't tell other people not to manage their businesses through scattered messages, memory, and last-minute effort while doing that myself. Can't. Coffee and clarity gives me an opportunity to use DriftFunnels on something deeply personal to me. It's not a campaign, it's a community rhythm. And that means I need to create a real operating rhythm around it. So every week, there should be a time for preparing the conversation. There should be a time for creating the invitation, a time for personally inviting people, and there also should be an automatic reminder sequence and a process for identifying who attended. Should be a follow-up process. And there should be a time when I review what happened and improve the process for the next week. The call happens Monday morning, but the work of creating attendance cannot begin Monday morning. It's too late. The invitation should begin earlier. The reminder should already be scheduled. The registration path should already be active. The system should already know what happens next. That's another thing I'm wrestling with. I can't keep treating recurring responsibilities like unexpected events. Coffee and clarity happens every Monday. It's like clockwork. It's not a surprise. So what I need to do is build the system once and improve it weekly instead of rebuilding the process from scratch every Sunday night. I've also got to make sure that the system still sounds like me. I don't want cold messages. I don't want people feeling like they've entered a machine. The messages should still sound like the table. Those messages should feel warm, personal, and honest. And they should sound like, hey, I'm glad you registered. I'm looking forward to seeing you. The table is ready. We missed you. Here's the replay. Come back next week. That is the kind of automation I want. Automation that protects the relationship instead of flattening it. So that's what I'm wrestling with. What I'm appreciating. What I'm appreciating is that I do not have to start from nothing. Coffee and clarity already has a rhythm. It already has a voice. It already has a purpose. For 13 weeks, I've been learning what this table is. I've been learning how I want people to feel when they arrive. I've been learning what I want to talk about. And I've been learning how to tell the truth without turning every conversation into a lesson or a sales presentation. And that foundation, it already exists. Now what I need to do is build the invitation path around it. I'm appreciating the people who already attended, who always attend. I'm appreciating the people who've watched the replays. I appreciate the people who've encouraged me to continue. The people who may have registered and intended to attend but couldn't make it. I appreciate those people. And I don't want to overlook anybody. Don't want to overlook any of those people. I'm also appreciating that DriftFunnels gives me a place to connect the pieces. The registration page doesn't have to live separately from the contacts. The contacts don't have to live separately from the reminders. Those reminders don't have to live separately from the conversations. The conversations don't have to live separately from the follow-up, and the follow-up does not have to live separately from the next invitation. It can become one connected rhythm. That's what I appreciate about systems when they are built properly. A good system can protect peace. It doesn't have to remove peace. A good system can keep me from waking up Sunday night and realizing that I forgot to invite anybody. A good system can also keep me from wondering whether the confirmation message went out. It can keep me from searching through 3 platforms, trying to remember who said they wanted to attend. It can also create room for me to focus on the conversation instead of carrying every administrative detail in my head. I need to become clearer, not louder. I need to create a more dependable path, not to pressure more people. And I need to make this table easier to find, not a bigger table first. Now, that was what I appreciated. And now this is my favorite part. I want to hear from you. I'm going to ask our 4 questions that I always do. And again, you can, as always, you can either put your answers in the chat or you can unmute your mic and answer the questions. As always, you may not have an answer to the question this week, and that is perfectly okay. But you may have one next week, so come on back. Here's our first question.
I'm jumping in there first. I don't need you, preacher. I don't need you. I'm not gonna let that sermon go by. I need another slice of that. You hear me? You convicted me. Let me tell y'all something. Every sermon ain't supposed to feel good. Hey, some of that cut me. I don't know what the hell your first question is, but I sure appreciate your call. I know that much. I sure appreciate your call, and I sure enough keep on staying on me because everything you said, you was talking to me. I don't give a damn what they say.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Okay. I
Took the
was whooping
words
my
out of my mouth. I was gonna say the
okay.
same thing. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was just talking about that last night, trying to get people committed and what does it take? And why people, say something they're not gonna do and they don't do it. Is it pushy trying to ask them again, and it's like, I get it. Man, that was awesome, Grace. Phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Listen, I was whooping myself. I'm sorry the belt, I don't listen. In the black household, if you got in the way of the belt swinging, you got hit too. So listen, I wasn't trying to
I
have
got
y'all got in
hit
the
too,
way.
man. I'm the Mexican. I got hit too. Put your hands out, you gonna get hit too.
But but thank y'all. Thank y'all for being in here with me. Go ahead, Otis.
Well, as last week, Grace, the way you delivered it was very well, and you do hit a couple of nerves that everyone was saying, and I do appreciate you specifically for sharing those thoughts that you had. Just as I can't speak for everyone, but just as you, invitations are the struggle. Do we not care if they feel as if we're bugging them? I don't know. Do we potentially lose of a person, a customer, to keep reminding them, saying y'all bug me too much? I don't know. So, and sometimes I think, oh, we're in our own heads. We're making judgments for them. So it's hard to really go one way or another. And usually, when people do have a choice like that, they choose not to do things, right? So I appreciate you for bringing this to light, having us really to reflect on what's going on in our life as far as that is concerned.
Thank you so much, Otis. Appreciate you for that. All right. So our first question is, what are you excited about right now? Antonio said, forget them questions. He didn't use the word forget, but I'm going to say the word forget. Okay, we'll go to the next one. I'm excited that I'll answer this question. I'm excited that since Sunday was yesterday, even if yesterday wasn't Sunday, the Holy Spirit convicted me and say, you got to do better. Okay, you got to do better. You got to do better about this call. I didn't give you this call for you to not do what you're supposed to do with it. So I'm excited that
Right.
now that the eyes have,
Pete,
the scales have been off my eyes.
come here. Let me fix your
Hold on,
panties real
hold
good.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Come on.
There we go. I um I'm excited now that now that I can see, it's called it's going to I'm going it's going to improve. Just like DriftFunnels gets improved every day, every time somebody says, you know what, I wish this had this here. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. So that's what I'm excited about. All right. Before we go to the next question, did anybody have? Okay. All right, here we go. Next question. What are you carrying that feels heavy this week? Anybody carrying anything that feels heavy this week? All right, let me get the third question ready. Oh, what are you carrying that feels heavy this week?
That Holy Spirit conviction your call just did.
Grace, if you were talking,
Sorry,
we did not hear you.
I'm so sorry. I just noticed I was muted. What are you building this week? Go ahead. If anybody had anything.
I mean, just for this week, just I think what was great with your call was is just, keep the course, improve it. And so like that this week, that's where I'm at is just you know, keep the course and make it better. So in everything that I'm doing, I mean, I've got some tasks for us to do here, working together, keep the course, make it better, and then just everything else in general. So yeah, appreciate everything on here.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Tony.
One thing that you mentioned, and I too stated it a long time, and it makes everything run better, and that's systems. Um, I want to build better systems that will take me out the circle. All I have to do is look at it once or twice a week or a day, and then to manage it. Uh, that's what I want to build.
All right, Otis. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Grace, remind me after this. I feel like just remind me after this to tell you something. But I'm building Roth IRAs for the team, and I'm really excited about it. And I want to, so basically, health insurance or life, whatever the insurance, health insurance and retirement plans for Density 6. This is something that I'm really focused on. And while I would love it to be free, it's not, but I would love it to be free. I would love to eat candy all day and never gain weight, but you know, these things. So that's what I'm.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Antonio. All right. Our last question is, what do you need encouragement, prayer, or perspective on? Anybody needs that? All right. I've had my encouragement, prayer, and perspective. It hit me last night. All right. Anybody else before we close out? Thank you so much, Pastor Tony. Yes, it did. The whole call gave a lot of perspective. Okay. So as we close, here's the thought I want to leave you with this week. The invitation is not complete just because I posted a link. Okay. The invitation is complete when I've made it easy for the right person to understand what I'm offering. Say yes, remember when it's happening, arrive, and know what comes next. People aren't always absent because they're uninterested. Sometimes they're absent because the path was too easy to miss or too easy to forget. So this week, I'm not going to question the value of the table before I improve the path to the table. I'm going to invite more consistently. I'm going to follow up more thoughtfully. I'm going to use DriftFunnels to carry the repetition, and I'm going to remain responsible for bringing the warmth, honesty, and care. Automation should carry the repetition. It should never replace the relationship. As always, I want to thank you for spending this part of your morning with me. And as always, thank you for bringing your real self into the room. I'm very grateful we get to spend this time to build together, and I will meet you back here next week at the table. Same bat time, same bat channel. This is your girl, Grace. I will see you at the top, not from the top. Have a wonderful Monday and a great week. Love you, everybody.